What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Creativ Rise
guys.
Podcast. We are about to jump right on into today's episode, but before we do, what a turnout last week.
Oh my
Last
gosh.
week, we had the Six-Figure Creator Workshop. There were so many of you guys on there, like 150 of you guys on there. So great to connect, so great to give you as much value as humanly possible, as much as we could give you in the 2 hours we had together. What a great turnout. If you were there, thanks for being there. We just wanted to say a quick thank you and that it was so fun to be with you guys. Other than that, let's jump on into the show. So today's episode is all about the problem of figuring out how to get more leads. We're talking today about lead generation, how to get more leads. And the reason why we want to talk about leads is because if you can get more leads in your business, you can grow your business, right? If you have more people to sell to, more potential customers, you can have more customers. Pretty simple.
Yeah, because here's what most creatives do wrong. You find yourselves in one of two camps. One, a lot of creatives are so bad at creating attention. So bad at creating attention. They can't get anyone to look at their stuff. They're not getting inquiries, et cetera, et cetera. Or maybe you're the creative on the other side of that problem and you're really great at creating attention, but you're not good at driving sales. It would be like the classic example of someone getting viral videos and nothing coming from it, or having tons of followers and nothing coming from it. So those are the two problems a lot of creatives are faced with.
Yeah, and we want to solve those two problems. So it doesn't matter what camp you're in. It doesn't matter if you have a ton of followers yet you don't know how to sell, or you have no followers and you're trying to sell really hard. We're going to solve that today with a podcast about lead generation. So lead generation is simply where you attract the attention of a potential lead. You then nurture that person towards trusting you, and then eventually you ask them for a sale. Now, the tool we're going to use to teach you about lead generation today, there's a bunch of different lead generation tools, but this is the main one. Every business in the world that is successful uses what we're about to talk about, and it is a sales funnel. I'm doing this little V thing with my hands here.
Picture a big
It is
V.
quite literally a V. So a sales funnel is simply a marketing strategy that attracts and nurtures a potential client towards a sale. Now, it actually looks like a V. Now, there's tons of customers at the top, or potential customers at the top, and the further down your funnel they get, obviously the closer they get to actually buying from you. Now, different parts of the funnel have actual different stages, though, and this is what most creatives get wrong, is they go straight from like, oh, someone followed me, straight to a sale.
Yeah.
Right? Or they go straight from, oh, no one's following me and I'm trying to sell people. There's different stages that you've got to learn in order to make sure that a funnel is going to work for you and actually give you some lead generation in your business. Now, before you say, well, Joey, I don't know if this is going to work for me. I don't know if this is going to work for my business. Well, let me tell you, it's worked for every business Christy and I have ever created. We have also seen it work for all of our, I was going to say a lot, actually all of our friends' businesses. All the businesses that we buy from day in and day out, right? Those are funnels in some type. And to name a few other, it works for wedding photo and video. It works for commercial brand photo and video. It works for lifestyle photo and video. It works for social media management, graphic design, content creator / influencer business models, agency models, and more. Okay, a mouthful, but it works for everything. It works universally because it does, as we mentioned earlier, a funnel attracts attention for your ideal clients. It gets you your ideal client's attention. It then nurtures them by building trust. You then build trust with that actual ideal client, which then gives you an opportunity to ask them to do something. Ask them, you give them a call to action. Hey, do this. Hey, do this. Hey, do this, which eventually will lead to a sale, which is so important. So now we're going to kick off this podcast by actually teaching you about funnels through story. We're going to use a story from a grad of the Creativ Rise Mastermind. She's awesome. She's actually been on the show before. You've probably heard her name, probably seen her on our socials if you follow us online. Rebecca Soto. She has built a brilliant, beautiful funnel that has gotten her quite a bit of business in different categories. But recently, we actually helped Rebecca build a funnel at the Inner Circle retreat earlier this year. Now, if you don't know what the Inner Circle retreat is, it is a crazy experience. That's so fun that we do over a couple of days. We bring some of our top earners, our top earner graduates that have graduated from the Creativ Rise 6-week mastermind into one place, and they all put their heads together to help each other build out their businesses. Now, funnels was a topic, and we all challenged them to, every single person who came had to build their own funnel. Rebecca did a phenomenal job of building her own funnel, and the results were insane.
Yeah,
now, if you're already thinking, well, Joey, that sounds incredible. Like, how do I even get to one of those things? Well, as we said, it is an experience for our top earners from the 6-week mastermind. If you don't know what the 6-week mastermind is, well, a little bit of history for you.
Yes.
This is pretty cool. 4 years ago this summer, is actually August, so same time we're recording this, 4 years ago in 2019, we tried on a little bit of an experiment for some people that followed me online, and I wanted to go, hey, if I'm doing a couple different things that are helping me really build my own creative business, I wonder if I could share those with people, and I wonder if they could do them as well. So it was a little bit of an experiment that I tried. My goal is to help people ditch the creative struggle, specifically ditch the struggle club patterns that lead to a struggle club business. And so I built out a 6-week, it was actually an 8-week program at the time. It's now a 6-week program that really helps you foundationally shift what you're doing to build a great 6-figure foundation for your business. Now, fast forward 4 years, Christy and I started doing this together, which is epic. And there's been 248 creative businesses that have plowed through the 6-week mastermind since 2019. But it turns out the experiment I started 4 years ago worked because we've helped those 248 businesses create millions and millions of dollars of revenue for their own businesses. Now, who says creatives have got to be broke, right?
Yes.
Not over here. Not the struggle club over here.
And you guys, this week, we have opened applications for the 10th round of the Creativ Rise Mastermind, which is so insane. We know
10 rounds is insane. Yeah,
we know you've
crazy.
been waiting 7 months since the last one to get on. We had the biggest wait list in history, which comes with good news and bad news. Okay, everyone get ready for the good news and bad news. The good news is that applications are live for this round of the Mastermind. The bad news is that the wait list took 30 out of the 35 spots for round 10. So they are gone. So we only have 5 remaining spots for this mastermind.
And that's at the time of recording this.
Yes.
By the time this comes out in a day and a half, we might have only 1 spot left, or maybe none.
Exactly.
So,
check our
is,
stories to figure out if it's still available. But you guys, today applications should be officially live, so you can go and do that. And then another date you need to know is that September 3rd, we are closing applications. Now, if it sells out before that, we'll close earlier than that. But the official,
which we always do.
Which we always do. But the official close date is September 3rd, and then our kickoff call is September 10th. September 10th is our welcome call.
Yeah, so our kickoff call is September 10th. It's going to run 6 weeks. We cannot wait. It is like an incubator to build businesses. So here's who this is really for. If you're listening to this going, I wonder if this is for me. If you have a creative business, a service-based creative business, meaning you're a photographer, filmmaker, graphic designer, content, strategist, whatever it's going to be, and you are not yet currently making $8,500 plus a month, which would be a 6-figure business, and you're not wanting to waste the next 3 to 4 years to actually trying to figure out how to do it on your own. Now, I say waste because every year that you make 20K, 30K, 50K, even 60K, and you're wanting to be making 100K, even if you're working your way there, every year you do that, you're actually costing yourself the gap between whatever you made and the 6-figure business that you really want. And so the cool thing that I heard recently, and I thought this was genius, is that you can actually buy, and I so believe this, you can actually buy the business you want. And as I started thinking about it, I was like, oh, that makes a ton of sense. That's what I've done my whole life. I didn't go to school. I didn't get educated past high school. So I've constantly used the resources that have been available to me to buy the knowledge, the tools, the tips and stuff, the strategy from the people that I wanted to trade places with. And what it did was it shortcutted me like crazy. Now, in the beginning of growing my own creative business, I didn't do that. I spent 3 to 4 years after I first started my little video agency before I really started to get help. And that's once finally, when it took it off. So it is pretty cool that you can buy your own growth, basically. And that's really what the mastermind is. The mastermind is an opportunity for you to pay $2,597 and buy the foundation that will eventually lead to you having a 6-figure business if you commit to it. Now, there's 2 camps when I say that. The first person goes, wow, only $2,500 or $2,600 basically. Like, that's actually only 1 gig. 1 gig and it's completely paid for. And if that is you thinking that, you are absolutely right. Most people that come into the mastermind only have to book 1 thing to cover the whole cost and start running a positive ROI. Now, our goal is to actually get everybody to have some type of offer where their 1 offer could pay for everything. Like, that's the goal for all businesses. Now, the second camp is, if you're going, man, that actually seems like that's a lot of money. That seems really expensive. My question for you would be, well, would you spend $2,597 on a camera and see it as a good investment? And if your answer to that is yes, then I would really love to challenge you that your thought process might be holding you back, because investing in gear, and this is classic. I've made this mistake. You've made this mistake. So many people that listen to the show make this mistake. If you're thinking this right now, you're probably living in this mistake. So many people think that investing in gear is a phenomenal investment. And there is a time and place where you need gear.
Of course.
But once you have even remotely gear that can do even the slightest bit of the job, What's holding you back is actually the strategy, the tools, tips to build a really solid business, your ability to sell, your ability to create a good offer, your ability to build funnels that actually work and get you more leads, your ability to follow through on something, your ability to build a team, manage your money well. That's all the stuff that ends up holding you back. And so I really would love to encourage anybody that's like, oh, I've been on the fence or I've been hearing about this mastermind thing. Do it. Like, we are so excited for this next round. We are giving ourselves all in to the 35 businesses that are going to be in this next round. And I cannot freaking wait. So do not limit your business by only investing in gear, guys, this year, but actually invest in the stuff between your ears, the knowledge stuff, the gap that you have in your own head. Invest to solve that gap so that you can actually go out and make more money.
Yeah. And you guys, the link to apply, if you're like, I want one of those 5 spots, I don't want to buy the camera, I want to put in knowledge and investment in between what my ears have in there. That was really a long sentence. I couldn't figure it out. If you want to maybe even just apply, go ahead and go to the link in our bio or in the show notes of this description. You can apply. It's a no commitment application. There's even a spot where you can book a call with us to talk about whether or not it's the right fit for you. So you can
give you all the
easily
information
apply.
you need.
Or even if you're like, I don't even know if I'm there yet, just DM us maybe on Instagram. The word maybe on Instagram, and we can chat with you. No pressure. Just a great conversation.
Yeah, our goal is not to sell anybody into it, because the reality is it's sold out 9 rounds. The 10th one is going to sell out as well. We just really want to make sure that people are really wanting growth are the ones that get the opportunity to jump in.
Yes.
So if you're not quite sure if that's you, awesome. Just DM us maybe, and we'll give you the information so you can make a great decision on that. Anyways, let's jump back into the story about Rebecca. So Rebecca has built a phenomenal funnel, and I'm just going to shortcut just for a second and tell you what this funnel has done. This funnel she launched, like I said, we built it, gave her the concepts, and she built it off this framework at the last Inner Circle retreat we ran, and she went ham. She launched it right away, did all the work to make sure it was up and live and running, created some really good content for it. And then she immediately, within the first week, got her first inquiry for her dream wedding in Greece. So that's what the funnel was. She asked herself the question, okay, I really want to have a Greek wedding over in Greece with my dream client. How do I do that? And the answer was building a funnel. And what we're about to show you how she did it is actually what landed her a dream inquiry within 7 days of making this funnel live. So if you're sitting here going, man, I just wish that I knew a way to actually acquire more clients, this is it, which is so exciting.
Yeah. So Rebecca did 4 steps to the funnel, and we are going to walk you through these 4 steps and show you how she did this by actually reverse engineering it. So we're going to start at the bottom of the funnel. So if you think of the V, the bottom of the funnel where people actually buy. So number 1, she decided what her core offer that she was selling was going to be, which was, again, this Greece wedding, specifically in Santorini. She wanted to be able to book wedding packages in there. So for yourself, decide what service or package and core offer are you going to be choosing.
Yeah, so after you, or in Rebecca's case, decide what you want to sell, which is going to be your core offer, you then have to figure, okay, how do I actually get people to the core offer? Well, for most people, it's pretty simple. It typically involves a website or a message button. Somehow they are getting in contact with you. So what Rebecca did was she asked herself, how do I actually drive someone to my website? Well, the answer to that was simple. She needed to get people to inquire towards her core offer. So she actually said, okay, if I'm going to get somebody to inquire on my site, I need to be in the conversation. All the brides, or the soon-to-be brides that are having the conversation about Greece, going, I want to get married in Greece, I want to get married in Greece. If Rebecca was not in that conversation in any way, meaning she didn't have any content about it, she wasn't physically talking to those brides about it, she was never going to get booked. So she said, okay, if I'm going to get someone to inquire on my site, which means they can eventually book me for this package, I need to become the expert, or at least be in the conversation of thought when it comes to these weddings over there in Greece. So that's what she did. She decided, I am going to have to get in the conversation and start educating people on how I know about this stuff and how I can help somebody achieve their dream outcome of getting married in Greece, and I can achieve mine of actually getting to a shooter in Greece. So that's what she did. She decided to become an expert on the topic, and that leads you to step 3.
Yeah, and step 3 is her becoming an expert and showing she is the expert in that field. So Rebecca decided to create a free guide where she is educating potential clients about how to elope in Santorini, Greece. She talks about tips and tricks, where to go, how to get married there, all of the details that a bride or groom would be wondering of how the heck do I do this, and is it possible for me? So in order to get this free educational guide that she created, all they would have to do is jump on the landing page, put in their email, and then she would deliver them the guide via email, and then a simple email sequence, which nurtures the client. It's not complicated at all. She would send them the guide, and then she would send probably like 3 to 4 emails, just giving more value, answering more questions, and directing them towards inquiring on her website. That is the key. That is the whole point of this section of giving value and educating the client. It's to build that trust so that they will then be directed to take that call to action to then book you for your core offer. So now you don't need to create a guide like Rebecca did. Like you can do something completely different. Like maybe you do just organic content on your socials that gives a ton of value to your potential client. Or maybe it's you're really good at blogging and you're really good at writing. Create a blog on your website. Give a ton of free value there to build that trust. You could do a free discovery call with someone, giving them like an audit on their business, whether it's like a social or a brand audit or whatever your core offer would be related to. You could even do like public speaking at events. Maybe you're like, I hate social media. I want to be in person with people. You can look up local networking events you can go to, and you can go and speak at them or do a workshop or something like that. You could also do like long form videos on your website, giving tons of information on like low hanging fruit problems that you know that you can solve for somebody for free that would build that trust to get them to want to inquire with you.
Yeah. So a lead magnet does not always have to be a guide, as Christy said. It can be whatever you want it to be, as long as it is giving value and continuing to push somebody closer towards the sale, which is the point. And that was beautifully said. So, okay, we are now at the last step, basically, of building a simple funnel. So you've already decided what the funnel is going to sell. That's step 1. Step 2 is you've then figured out what action people need to take in order to get to the sale. That's step 2. Step 3 is you decided, okay, I know I now need to build trust with these leads, so I need to somehow become an expert on this or join the conversation, which was what Christy was just talking about, by creating some type of value for them. And last but not least, step 4 is you actually need to get leads. Yeah. This is the time where you actually get leads. This is the very top of the funnel, the widest part. This is where the most people are going to experience you. This is where most people fail, is they come up with these good funnel ideas, they come up with things, but they do not know how to drive traffic to it, right? Yes. Or reverse, right? They know how to do this really well. They don't know how to do any of the other pieces. You've got to piece all 4 of these together in order for it to make your business money. Now, the last step, like I just said, is about getting eyes on your lead magnet, getting eyes into your funnel, getting people into your funnel. So it is the most important part. You can have the best educational, trust-building lead magnet in the world, the best guide, the best free YouTube video, the best workshop, the best live speaking engagement. Yet, if you have nobody there watching it, it's not going to drive any sales for you, okay? So Rebecca knew this, so she created a series of attention grabbing. You can literally go to her Instagram and look at them. Good. We'll actually link that in the show notes because they're really, really good. You can go over to her Instagram. You can see the attention-grabbing reels that she actually developed and posted strategically in order to give her ideal client value and then drive them to the guide, okay? So every piece of content also pointed them towards what they could have if they, consumed her lead magnet and pushed them towards the dream outcome, which is so, so, so important. So because of Rebecca's grease funnel, because she decided what she wanted to sell, because she then decided what action she wanted them to take, then she decided how she was going to show up in that space and educate people, be a thought leader, or at least be a piece of the conversation. And then she created content about it to make sure people knew that she was available for this. Because of that, within the first week, as I said earlier in the podcast, she got an inquiry for a $16,000 dream grease wedding. Yeah. Like, that is crazy. I remember she sent a voice note to our group text. With everybody from the Inner Circle Retreat. She was like, oh my gosh, guys, I cannot believe that this works so easily. Like, I literally just finished it and I've already got an inquiry. This is crazy. Like, go build your funnels, Yeah. So guys, this stuff really, really works. If it works for Rebecca, it can work for you. All you've got to do is follow the steps, put in the work, and start generating leads.
And you guys, this works way better than just occasionally posting. And this works way better than just asking people to buy from you who you have not developed trust with yet. This is like the type of stuff that excellent marketers do, and this is what all successful companies do. They learn how to funnel people. And when you learn how to build and execute funnels, you basically get a license to print money, which is awesome. So, okay, here's the deal. We know that was a lot. I hope you had like notes to be able to like take stuff down. If not, go back to this podcast, get a pen and paper, build your own funnel yourself. And we know that building funnels can be hard. It can be difficult.
Yeah.
It's honestly why we build a lot of funnels in person with these types of people, with these creative businesses, because we know that it's hard to do a lot of stuff in your creative business by yourself. And that's what most creative businesses actually are. They're completely isolated and they are completely alone, which is a recipe for disaster, because here's what happens. You figure out one piece of the puzzle. You figure out something about funnels, or you figure out something about lead magnets, or you figure out something about your website that you're like, get so pumped and you're like, this is what's going to change the game for me. You take the step forward and then all of a sudden you hit some type of roadblock, or you hit some sort of something that throws you off the course, or you just lose momentum. And you're the only one there, you're going to stay stuck there because you are the only one there. But when you have other people around you that you can pull you out of the pit, that can help you get over the roadblock, who not only are just community, but people who have been there and done that and can actually give you actionable advice that actually makes sense and actually causes growth for your business, that changes everything. So if you do not have a community like that, that's supportive, that's excited for your growth, and that can actually give you great advice, what are you doing? You got to get out of that isolation, which is exactly why we created the Creativ Rise Mastermind. It is literally a community of 35 businesses that wants to push forward towards your growth with you, and that you will also support them back. So it's an incredible community. Again, we only have 5 spots left, maybe even less by the time this podcast airs. So if you want to be encouraged, if you want to be a part of a community, if you want the coaching and accountability that helps you grow your business, this is what it is. It's the 6-week mastermind, and we are so excited to see you over there. So again, in the show notes, you can get the application, link in bio. If you want to DM us the word maybe, we're happy to chat about it. We just want you to make a certain decision and not feel regret in a couple weeks when we're talking about this 6-week mastermind that's popping, and it's so awesome. You missed out. We don't want that.
And if you guys are sitting here going, man, they're really pushing this hard. Like, why are they pushing this so hard? Well, it's because it actually changes people's lives. Changes people's lives because it changes their business. When my business changed, when your business changed, when businesses we've started together have changed, it changes your life, right? Like when you have more finances or more ability to scale something, or you have more control over what's going on because you're pushing a rock downhill rather than pushing it uphill. Like you feel better about what's going on. Life just gets different than when you constantly feel like you're struggling all the time. And so we're talking about this a lot because we really want you to experience that the same way we've experienced that, the same way hundreds of other people that have gone through the Creativ Rise Mastermind have also gotten the same experience. And so if that is you, again, like Christy said, head on over to creativrise.com and you can see all the info there, or check the show notes. If you're listening to this after the mastermind has even started, we start September 10th, and you want to join, well, you can't. This round's closed, obviously, but you can get on the wait list by going to creativrise.com/waitlist for the next round, and we'd love to see you there on the wait list. The wait list comes with some bonuses and stuff too. So anyways, guys, thanks for listening to the show today. I hope this was a really insightful podcast for you on how you can build a funnel. I hope you love the example we used with Rebecca. Cheer her on. Go check it out on socials. She's awesome, and she's building a really, really great business.
And if you want to actually watch this in a visual way, where can they watch the replay?
YouTube.
The replay of the 6-figure creator
I was like,
workshop.
watch the podcast on YouTube. We started posting all the podcasts visual on YouTube. Yeah, if you want to watch the 6-figure creator workshop, that's a great point. I didn't even remember that. We had that last week, and it went off, and there's a lot of people that couldn't make it due to schedule stuff. And there's also a lot of people that made it that want to rewatch it. If you want to rewatch it, all you got to do is go to creativrise.com/6-figure creator, and you can catch the replay there. Watch the entire thing front to back. There's so much value in there for you guys. We got so many messages from people. We actually got a message this morning from somebody being like, hey, what did she say?
She was like, just from utilizing the stuff you guys talked about in the workshop, I put it into practice, and I booked 3 of the weddings that inquired with me this week, and it was all above their price ranges. Like, I was above all of their budgets.
That's thousands and thousands of dollars.
And she's like, I just booked all of them.
That's amazing. So
guys,
anyways,
it's worth it.
6-figure creator, creativrise.com/6-figure creator, and you'll see the whole workshop replay there. And other than that, check us out on Instagram. Make sure you're following there because we're constantly giving updates on stuff there. If you have any topics you'd love to see us do a podcast on, we'd love to give you a podcast on the topic you'd love. So just reach out to us. Let us know. DM us on Instagram. We'd love to see you there. Share this episode with a friend if anyone that you know also needs to learn how to build a funnel. And other than that, we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.